Violinus.
Shine.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. If you are hearing me, type in the chat good afternoon so I can see who all are here and who all are ready. We don't use the mic, we don't use cameras, we only use the chat. So that's something that you're going to use to respond to any questions asked, or if you have any questions, you type it in the chat. You could do it directly to me or you could do it to the class. It's up to you which one you prefer. I'm going through the chat and I'm watching who all respond, taking note. All right, so I just want to start off by saying thank you guys for doing the homework. I think majority of persons actually completed the assignment. Those persons who did as much as they can, I appreciate that. If by any chance you did not submit the work, I need you to try it on your own still and send it in to me because it will be considered a strike if you don't. Okay, so if you know you need to, just shoot me a message and say, Ms. V, I didn't get to do it. I'm going to try it and then I'll just make note of it. All right, so now it is 4:54. I'm ready to start. So if everybody is ready, just say ready in the chat and then we're going to get started. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, excellent. So my first question is, how did you find the assignment? Was it out of 10? Difficulty? 10 being, oh my God, you couldn't answer anything at all. 1 being you was able to answer majority. So 1 to 10, how you find the assignment. All of those questions were past paper questions. And so it's important for you to start getting accustomed of doing those type of questions from now. So what we're going to do, we're going to start off from the top and I'm going to go through the questions. And what you're going to do, you're going to mark your own work and you're going to give yourself your own mark. So when we finish, you would have your grade in total. And then when we come next class, I'm going to just ask to see a book. Some persons, I already went through your work, through the pictures, and I saw some mistakes. I saw some errors a lot of people were making. So those are the things I'm going to focus on today. All right. So let's get started. Question number 1. This is generally the question you're going to see when you open up a paper 2. It's a fraction question. So I'm going to start here. 2 and 2 over 3 plus 1 and 1 over 5 over 6 and 2 over 5. So the first thing you're going to do, you're going to rewrite this so that it's one long line instead of having something to the top and something at the bottom. So this is going to become 2 and 2 over 3 plus 1 and 1 over 5. And we should remember that this line means what? This lines mean division. And why we need to put this bracket. This bracket says that it's important to find the answer for the top first before you divide by what is at the bottom. Because without the brackets, you know you have to divide before you add, right? So that is why it's important to put in your brackets. Step 2, change all mixed fraction into improper fractions. So let's go. That's where you're going to get your first half mark. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. Please follow to make sure. If I make any mistakes, you could also let me know, okay? 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. 6 over 5 divided by 5 times 6 is 30. 30 plus 2 is 32 over 5. So you get your first half mark here. If you have that, give yourself a point. Now we're going to add, which means we need to find the LCM of 3 and 5, which is 15. How do I change 3 into 15? I multiply by 5. Well, we do to the bottom, you do to the top. 8 times 5 is 40. Plus 5 times 3 gives us 15. Well, we do to the bottom, you do to the top. 6 times 3 is 18. You write back everything that you don't use. Okay, so you're going to end up with 58 over 15 times 5 over 32. Everybody see how I get 5 over 32? Remember, when you divide, what's the rule for division of fractions? Which one you do first? It's just flip. This is a question for everybody. Switch and flip. I saw a lot of mistakes where persons flip the first fraction and then switch the sign. Remember, you got to switch first, then flip. So that's why the 5 is over the 32. Now, when we multiply fractions, we know we're supposed to do a cancel. 5 into itself goes once, 5 into 15 3 times. Can I cancel again? Yes, I could use 2. Half of 58 is 29. Half of 32 is 16. Anybody with me so far? Anybody have this so far? How we looking? How we looking? So just before I continue, you get another mark for finding the correct LCM. So that's a half mark there. You get another mark for switching and flipping. That's another half mark there. You get another mark for canceling. And then you'll get a mark for your answer. So 1 times 29 is 29. And 3 times 16 is 48. So your final answer is 29 over 48. That's 1 mark. That's how you get your 3 marks. So half mark for changing to improper fractions. Half mark for the correct LCM. Sorry, thank you. It's 48. Half mark for switching and flipping, half mark for canceling, and 1 mark for your answer. All right, so let's continue. Number 1, part 2. Now, what do you need to calculate this, guys? Can I just calculate this just like that, or I need something? What do I need to use? Everybody should have their calculators in their hand. I was asking, how do I answer part 2? What do I need to use to answer part 2? I must use what? You have to use a calculator. You can't do this without a calculator. So first question, how many operations here? And I'm looking at the chat, and those people who don't answer, I will kick you out of the chat. You must respond to the questions, everybody. How many operations is in this question? All right, majority of person are saying 2. Excellent. You have division and you have the square root. And we know square root is the last thing that we do, because you realize the square root is over everything. That's the difference. If the square root was just on the top, you would have just had to square root the top, right? So let's go. When I divide 0.0256 by 25, now a lot of people get this question wrong, which was surprising. So I need everybody to divide these 2 numbers for me and tell me what you get. This was a question a lot of persons got wrong. So I need everybody to work this out with me before I do it. 0.256 divided by 25, type the exact answer you get on your calculator, because it was very strange what I'm seeing. So you see the Naya has 1.024. And then we have 0. So how come everybody getting different things? 0.256 divided by 25 is 1.024. And then we have 0. So how come everybody getting different things? 0.256 divided by 25 is 1.024. And then we have 0. So how come everybody getting different things? 0.256 divided by 25 is 1.024. And then we have 0. So how come everybody getting different things? Check your calculators to see if your calculator's giving you your answer in standard form already. I'm looking at the chat. I need to see more people posting their answer. What do you get when you divide 0.0256 by 25? Get my calculator too. I'm watching. You realize how much people get in different things? Some people get in the 0.01024, and then some people get in 1 point something. How do you know 1 point something is wrong? You only could get 1 point something if the two numbers are close to each other. Now, like Johnny gets 0.032. Let me check and see for myself. 0.0256 divided by 25. I got 0.0011024. Then you see this number, put this number, square root this number. So when you get a square root that number, and you should get, everybody should get the same thing, which is 0.032. Please back check it. And those who got it wrong, please make sure you fix it. You see this kind of question? These are the type of questions we can't afford to get wrong. Okay? So if you know you made a mistake, fix it. No. How did they ask for the number? They asked for the number as what? Standard form, right? So this is 1 mark in here for showing that you found the division. This is 1 mark here for correctly working out the square root, and then you get 1 mark for your answer. So what is 0.032 as standard form? Remember, standard form means we only want one thing in front of the point. So we're going to jump it. 1, 2 jumps, give me that. So it's going to be 3.2 times 10 to the negative 2. 2 jumps, that's why the power is 2. And the number was less than 1, so the power is negative. So far, we got 6 marks here. So please grade yourself. This is another mark. So how much out of the 3 marks you got? 0, 2, 1. Make sure you make note of it. All right, so next question. Let's see. What was the next question? That was it? Yep, that was it. How was this one? Was this one okay? Let's move on to question number 2, algebra. A lot of people start this question and ain't finish this question. Now, what topic is this? It say write as a single fraction. That means this is algebra fraction. Before you do any question, always make sure you know the topic. This means that we got to combine 2 sets of rules. What's the 2 sets of rules we got to combine? The algebra rules and the fraction rules. What is the rule when we add fractions? Remember, each operation have a rule. What's the rule for addition? Thank you so much. The rule is LCM. So we need to find the LCM of, let me write it over here so it's easier for us to follow. Plus x plus 1. And make sure you see this is another 3 marks over 4. So the LCM of 3 and 4, people, what's the LCM? Talk to me. Nobody? 12, is that true? Excellent, thank you very much. LCM is 12. So remember, we're doing the same thing like what we did with the fractions. How do I change 3 into 12? I multiply by 4. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. Except there's more than one thing to the top, so you gotta multiply by 4. So you're gonna put 4 bracket x minus 2 plus, what do I do to change 4 into 12? I multiply by 3. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top, so you multiply by 3. So that's gonna give me 3x plus 1. So let me ask this quick question. Everybody okay with this so far? All All right, so let me run it. We know what brackets mean. If you see something like this, what should always be the first thing that you do? The first thing is to get rid of the brackets, which means multiply everything that's outside by everything inside. So let's go. That means we're going to say 4 times x minus 4 times 2. I'm just going to write it out the long way so that we all understand. 4 times x minus 4 times 2. So that's the first bracket. Plus, let's multiply out the second bracket. 3 times x plus 3 times 1. So let's do that. 3 times x plus 3 times 1. All over 12. No, this is the easy stuff. 4 times x is 4x. Minus 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 3 times x is 3x. Plus 3 times 1 is 3. So my question to everybody is this our final answer? That's it. All I need is a yes or no. When you look at this, is this it? Is this the last thing we could do? We can't go no more. There's nothing else to do. Excellent job. Very good. So here we realize that we have x's and we have constants. So we should remember the rules. Add and subtract like terms. So that means we need to group all the x's together and all the constants together. So there we go. 4x. When I move the 3x, remember what moves with it is the thing that is in front. Let me don't say thing. Let me say the operation. So we move 3x, so it's going to be plus 3x. This is another mistake I saw a lot of people doing. They move the 8, but they put plus 8. No. What is in front the 8? The 8 is connected to the sign right in front of it. So it's minus 8, then plus 3. Over 12. So we could finish this up easy. 4x plus 3x is what? That's a serious question because some people forget the rules for addition. What is 4x plus 3x? Everybody. And now there are 24 people in here. I need to see 24 responses. What is 4x plus 3x? So everybody got to answer right. So that means we got to pay attention to what we're doing when we're doing the activities and the test them and the quiz them. Remember the rules. So very good, 7x. But then how come y'all ain't do this in the homework? So please pay attention to these little things. And next thing a lot of people make mistake with is this here right here. I need the answer. What is the answer for this here circle in yellow? Without your calculators, I could see it. I know some are going to use your calculators and we're going to fight. What is negative 8 plus 3? Very good. Remember the rules, right? The integer rules. When the signs are different, different means difference, which tells us to subtract. And when we subtract, the answer takes the sign of the bigger number. So 8 minus 3 is 5. And who's bigger? 8 is going to be minus 5 over 12. And that's your final answer. So just like that, 3 marks. Okay, so those who didn't get it right, make sure you copy down. And more importantly, make sure you understand. If you got it, say got it. If you don't got it, don't be afraid. Tell me you don't got it. Before I move on, I'm waiting for everybody to respond. We got 26 people. So all I should be seeing is got it or don't got it. As soon as class finish, I'm going to go back over y'all homework to just see if I miss anything else. So that on Thursday, I might just quickly go over it again. But two of the mistakes I saw a lot was mistakes with integers and mistakes with the rules. With the algebra rules, I should say. All right. Let's keep it moving. Denaya, I see you. I'm gonna do a few more examples on Thursday with algebra. You're crazy? Class done 7 o'clock, fam. All right, so let's go. We are now at B. Who could tell me what topic is B? Well, obviously, never mind. It's in the question. Pretty obvious. Binary operations. Binary operations. Janella, the class is recorded, so you can go on YouTube. I'll send the YouTube link after, and you could rewatch the part that you missed, okay? All right, so let me know if you are ready for the next question. So type ready, let's go. No, we did binary operations. And as we see here, this was an example of one of the more challenging ones, right? But we know what we're supposed to do because we know that this is just some instructions we got to follow. Where the first number is labeled A, the second number is labeled B. So my first question to you is, which number is A? Who should I label A? Excellent job, guys. Very good. Who should I label B? 4. So we know A is 3, B is 4. So that means what instructions we following? This is the instructions that we're following, yeah? So we're going to put the equal sign, and everywhere we see A, we put 3. Everywhere we see B, we put 4. So that's all I'm going to do. And what topic is that? Isn't this substitution? Because like I mentioned before, binary is just the older sister to substitution. So let me go. This is going to become 3 plus 4 square outside minus 2, 3, 4. And we know what happened in between these three things here was the operation between 2AB. What is happening between 2A and B? Excellent. Want to make sure we're on the same page. All right. So let's run this. When you look at this now, there's a lot of things going on here. You see our brackets, and you know Bodmer said do brackets first. So that means we got to add up. 3 plus 4 is 7. Did I use the square? No. So I put it back. Minus, I could multiply these 3 one time. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 4 is 24. Equal 7 times 7 is 49. 49 minus 24. Somebody, what's the answer? 25. How much marks that was? That one was an easy one, ain't? How much was that? 2 marks? So this is how your 2 marks does get through. You're gonna get, you see how I work it out here? Sometimes they just give you a half mark for each, or sometimes they will just give you 1 mark for the substitution, and then half mark for your calculations, and half mark for your answer. Everybody see that? So you don't need to have all of this, but once you have any version of the calculation in between here, you get a half mark and a half mark for your answer. So please note, I saw some of you guys jump straight from here to here. You don't want to give anybody any opportunity to take away a mark. Everybody with me? Show all of your working. All right, so let's go. So far, so good. I think a lot of people skipped the first one and they did the second one. What type of factorization is this first one here? This is an easy one. We know these are the 5 factorization. Distribution, grouping, perfect square, difference of square, and AC rule. Which one is this first one? Somebody said difference of square. Okay, no answer is a wrong answer. I need to know what you think. When you look at these 2 things here, what type of factorization is it? Nobody know. And listen, if you don't know, you need to say you don't know. Be honest, it's okay. That's why we're here. I need to know what you know and what you don't know. So we have distribution. Anybody else? A lot of people left this unanswered, and I can see why. Look at the properties of this question. The first one, the first factorization we learned in distribution. How do we know this is actually distribution? First thing first, Janella, let me explain why this is not the difference of two squares. It has to be a subtraction for it to be the difference, right? Remember that? That's what difference mean. Okay, so let's go. How do we know that this is the distribution? These two terms ain't got things in common. Both of them got x's and both of them has y's, right or wrong? So that means that we could pull out x's and y's from both sides. How many x's can I get from both terms? So those persons said 1. Cardell and Janella said 1. Do we agree? And I need everybody to answer this because a lot of people ain't answer this question. And there must be a reason why a lot of people ain't answer this question. Only one, because this got 1x and this got 2. That means I could pull 1x from both sides. Excellent. What about y? How much y's I could pull from both sides? Same thing, because this one got 3 and this one has 1. So I could pull out 1 from each side. So let's look at what's left back. If I don't pull out this x and pull out one of the y's, what left back in y square plus, look at the next term. It had 2x and I pull out 1. So how much x is left back? 1x left back. And then I pull out the y. So that means only the x left back. So that's your answer. Remember, the distributive law means you pull out what they have in common and you put what's left back in the brackets. If you got it, say got it. So that's 1 person, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Talk to me now. Talk to me now. All right. Number 2 is easy because you know why number 2 is easy. How much terms you see immediately? From the jump, you see 4 terms. And then after close evaluation, you should look to see if the first 2 got something in common. Do they? And the second 2 got something in common. Do they? No. What you notice is going to give you a little bit of trick. You realize the signs in the middle ain't matching. That should tell you from the jump that you got to either pull out a negative sign or do something special with the signs to make them match. Agree or disagree? We gotta be proactive in our thinking. From the time you see the 2 of them, you must realize that the signs ain't gonna match. So I got to do something to make it match. So let's do the first one. What is common between 2MH and 2NH? Excellent. So you pull out 2H. When you pull out 2H, what left back? 2H gone, 2H gone. So that means M minus N. How we looking? Another thing I saw is that some people, you pull out the right thing, but you ain't put no sign in the middle here. You can't just throw away the minus sign. Please pay attention to the signs, okay? That's something I saw a lot of people do. They had the right thing, but they didn't put nothing in the center here. So pay attention to that. No, let's look at this part, which actually gives us some challenge. You realize here, let's talk about what they have in common first. What do 2 of them got in common first? We're going to pay attention to the signs after. Everybody agree? Both of them got 3K? That's correct, 3K. No, a sign needs to go in front of 3K. Do we agree? If we pull out a positive, the negative gonna stay and the positive gonna stay. Do we want that? No, because we want a positive M and a negative N. That ain't mean we gotta pull out the negative from each side. Keep it in mind, this positive could be made up of 2 negatives, right or wrong? Because 2 negatives don't make a positive. So check this out now. If I pull out this negative, it gone outside, what left back ain't positive. If I pull out one of the negatives from here, what's gonna happen? We're gonna be left back a negative. So what we're gonna end up with? M minus N. Now, do we look like how we need it to look? Yes, because both of our brackets match. So now our final thing to do is to put M minus N. Why? Because this is our matching brackets. What left back? 2h minus 3k. If you got it, say got it. For those persons who got this one wrong, please make sure you copy down why. You don't have to write down all this drama. I was just doing it so that you could see and understand clearly how to manipulate the signs. Please note CXC is evil. They're going to give things like this. So that is why right now, that's what we're focusing on, making sure you know how to manipulate the negative signs. All right, I'm waiting for more people to let me know if they're with me or not. We're moving right along. A lot of people left this question unanswered. This wasn't the last thing that we did, the last thing last week. Tell me the only difference is it's in a table. We didn't do direct variation. A lot of people ain't even noticed that. Somebody asked me if I teach this. You know what I mean? Y'all ain't paying attention, man. You got to pay attention, man. You got to focus. This was the last thing we did in our last class. The only difference is, again, instead of giving you the data saying X is this and Y is that, they just organize it in a table. So let's do it together. Because we know that this topic is Y varies directly as X. How did I teach this? In 2 formulas we must start off with. So the first thing you must start off with is Y. This ain't a big fish thing. Yes. Y varies directly to X. Y big fish X. Then we know that this is equal to something. What is this equal to? Y. Sorry, let me don't put it equal sign there. Y is equal to KX. If you agree, tell me you agree. Please, if you need to go back in your notebooks, look at it now. Last class. So what do we notice? Here in the table, you realize what they give us? They always give us an X and a Y, an X and a Y, and an X and a Y. What letter they ain't give us? What letter we always try to find first based on our notes? What do we always try to find first? Excellent, Khalil. Excellent, guys. Very good. You always find K, because if you think about it, K is the key. So which 2 numbers we could use to find K? And these 2 numbers here, because we don't got X and Y. So we just got to do our substitute and solve for K. So let's look at it. It says when Y is 12, so put 12 on the Y. We don't know what K is. X is what? X is 2. We know how to solve for this by transposing. So how do I get rid of the 2 if I want K? I divide by 2. Whatever you do on one side, you do on the other side. Bam. So what I mean, K is equal to what, peoples? A lot of people didn't answer this. I need I to tell me no. Let's go. K is equal to 6. That's your first mark you're going to get, because you cannot find A, you cannot find B without K. This is the key. Right. So there we go now. Now that we know what K is, and they give us what they give us for the next one. So we don't work out the first thing, because we use that to find we K. Now we're going to move on to the next thing, which is this here. We're going to use this to find A now. So what we do is substitute. So let's go right by the formula. Y equal KX. What is Y here? We don't know, because Y is A. I like Y is A. Equal K. We know what K is. K is what? X. Sorry about that. K is 6. My God. And then X is what? What is X? X is 5. So we ain't just got to multiply this. That means A is equal to 6 times 5, which is 30. If you got it, say got it. So let me ask this question. Do you know what to do to find B? I want you to tell me what B is, everybody. So those who tried it and didn't get it right, those who didn't try it at all, everybody tell me the answer for B. What is B? And I hope y'all copying down these workings, because on Wednesday, I will be asking for your book where you would have done your assignment and you did your corrections. I need to see your corrections. Ladies and gentlemen, So a lot of people saying 8. Make sure you get your own answer. Make sure you got your right working. I looking in the chat. I liking what I see. So everybody, this is what you should have. Very good. Pick up yourself. Cookies for everybody. Y is equal to kx. We don't know. We know what y is, actually, yes. So we're going to say 48 is equal to 6x. So we know how to find x by transposing. We divide by 6 on both sides. This is going to cancel. So x is equal to 48 divided by 6. So x is equal to 8. Pick up yourself. Excellent job, ladies and gentlemen. So my next question is, everybody understand this? If you got it, say got it. That's out of 12. So that's 1 mark for K, 1 mark for this, 1 mark for that. Excelente. Muy bien, mi amor. So the only thing I would say is that because they ask you for 2 specific things, what do you always say? If they ask you to find A and B, how do you end it off by saying, and therefore, A is equal to 30 and B is equal to 8. Okay? Always do that, always. If they ask you to find 2 things, make sure when you go back to the question and make sure, even though you got the answers, you state your answers directly. All right, so let's move on. I think this was the last question, no? Second to last question. Let's see. Let's see. All right, 2A. So let me ask this question. Hard, easy, or hard? Quick. Everybody, easy or hard? This one here. To me, this was the easiest question in the whole entire homework, to be honest with you. And I saw everybody try this question. Very good. Small mistakes that we need to work on, to be honest. So I'm going to highlight some of the mistakes that I saw that I need us to pay attention to. When I come down to this part, I have to talk, because a lot of people didn't answer this one, and I'm going to explain to you what the answer is, right? So let me run through this one. Anytime you see them say A is this, B is that, C is that, what topic is this immediately? Talk to me, somebody, anybody. What topic is that? Substitution. Right? Remember, substitution means you replace the letter with the value. So how much marks is this? And every time you read a question, watch how much marks it is, because it kind of tells you how much working you need to show. 3 marks is a lot of marks, which means show everything. So let's go. First mark, replacing the letter with the actual value. So you should have here, A is 6, so you should have 6 square plus B. What is B? B is -4. Some people are struggling with this. Please to put everything first and then work your way down, because this made people make a lot of mistakes. Over, divided by, C minus B. So 8 is C minus B, and B is -4. A lot of people make a mistake right here too. They only put 1 minus. Remember, 1 is subtraction and 1 is a negative sign. So what do we notice here? What would you work out first? In the power, bottom man said power order first. So 6 square means what? 6 times 6, 6 times 6. Somebody put 12. Please be careful, guys. 6 times 6 is 36. 36. What's going to happen to these 2 signs here? What is it going to become? Excellent. That's what we call clashing signs. It's going to become -4 over. What's going to happen to these 2? Excellent. So 8 plus 4. Show everything is 3 marks. Show everything. So let's go. 36 minus 4 is 32. 32 plus what? 12. How we looking? Now my question to you is, do I leave that like that, or I could break it down? how we get 6 square. Remember here, it says a square. Remember a square, you just replace the a with 6. That's how we get a 6 square. Sika? Somebody said broke it down. So the first thing is these two are even numbers, right or wrong? So half of 32, let's break it down step by step, is 16 over what? 6. This could break down more into what? 8 over 3. Now guess what? What is this as a mixed fraction? Now I know we could have used 4, but I just making sure I do it the long way. So persons who may not know it's 4, because we know the truth. The truth is we don't know our tables. So you do what you gotta do. So those persons who know it was 4 could do it directly. Good job. What is this number as a mixed fraction? Everybody, let's go. How do I change this back into a mixed fraction? If you don't know, don't be afraid to say not sure. I need to know something because I realize a lot of people got that part wrong. I'm watching the chat. Yeah, sure? Or y'all just copying what each other say? All right, let's see. How much times can 3 go into 8? That's what you're asking yourself. How much groups of trees you can get from 8? If you're counting trees, you can figure it out. So let's count in trees. 3, 6, 9. So that means I could do 3 and 6. I could get 3 twice. 2 groups of 3 is 6. So you minus the 6. And how much you got left back? 8 minus 6 is what? 2. And you put it over the old denominator. So excellent job. Very good, guys. A lot of people got that correct. This one though, this one. Before I do it, type your answer for me, please. I want to see something. And don't copy and paste what somebody else say. I want to see your answer. Let's go. Type the answer for this one here. That was the big difference. Some people had plus and some people had minus. Let's go. I'm waiting for everybody else. Let's see who's paying attention to details. So you see, half said plus, half said minus. Well, majority said plus, but you never know. All right, so let's run through this. They ask us to simplify, and you know what simplify means, right? Simplify mean add what you can add, multiply what you can multiply, subtract, and do all the operations as far as you can until you can't do nothing else. So when you look at this, you know the first thing that we attack is the brackets. So there we go. 3 times x minus 3 times y. Everybody agree? So you have 3 times x minus 3 times y. Let's do the second bracket. So you have positive 4 plus 4 times x. So plus 4 times x plus 4 times 2y plus 4 times 2y. Let me just draw a line so we could separate what we're working on, right? So you get a mark there. Let's see what else we can do. So let's go. 3 times x is 3x, minus 3 times y is 3y, plus 4 times x is 4x, plus 4 times 2y is 8y. We good to go so far, everybody? Just checking in before I continue. Good to go?
Yeah.
All right, so let's check it out now. What do you notice about this? We got x's and we got y's. So that means we need to group all of our like terms, aka put all the x's together, all the y's together. So we're getting up with 3x plus 4x minus 3y plus 8y. So just like what we know before, 3x plus 4x is 7x. Everybody got that right. But this is the part everybody make a mistake. This ain't like integers. When the signs are different, what do? You subtract. So everybody did the right thing. They subtract. But which one is the bigger one? The answer gonna take the sign of the bigger number. So who gonna win? The plus is going to win the minus. So everybody see it now. If you didn't have it before, you see where it was a plus. So everybody, if you're good to go, say good to go. You better don't make that mistake again, Khalil. Talk to me, everybody. Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. Remember, algebra is very important. The next topic we're going into is functions, relations, and graph, which is the grand uncle, is a grand uncle of algebra. He could be easy if you know algebra well. He could be hard if you don't. All right, so let's take a look at the next one. A lot of people got this wrong. I don't know why. I think you got confused with the rules. What rules do we use when we're using multiplying and dividing algebra terms? In the laws of indices. Hello?
Yeah.
We forget? So what happens when you multiply x's? You don't add the powers. And when you divide, what do you do with the powers when you divide? Excellent, you subtract. So let's run this here now. So we got 4 times 3, because remember the rules for the coefficient is different than the rules for the variable. So 4 times 3 is 12. And then what do you do with the powers? You put back the x. You got 2 x's and you got 4. So how many x's you gonna get? 6, right or wrong? Divided by 6x to the 3rd power. No, I'm going to do this both ways. So let me do it the way they gave us. Let me do it the long way. 6 over x to the 3rd power. Let's do it this way first. But we know, that this means 12x to the 6th power divided by 6x to the 3rd power. Now, this is where everybody makes some mistakes. Some people had this, 2x squared. Why is that wrong? Which part of this wrong? The coefficient or this power? Which one is wrong? Yeah, man, the power is wrong because what's the rule when you're dividing? You're supposed to do what with the power? In subtract. So you're supposed to have here, just to show you the working, it's supposed to be 6 minus 3, which is going to give us 2x to the 3rd power. Remember, x to the 6th power means you got x 6 times divided by x to the 3 times. So I'm going to just do this out again so that we could remember. Let's say you're in the exam and you can't remember and you got to draw it out. So let's do 6 x's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's cancel now. That's 1 cancel. Remember, to cancel, you need to scratch out 2 things. Top and bottom. This is a 2nd cancel. This is a 3rd cancel. So what left back at the bottom ain't just 1. What left back at the top ain't 3 x's, which means x to the 3rd power. All right. Now this one, a lot of people didn't answer. Tell me the truth. If you answered C, part 1 and 2, say yes. If you did not, say no. I just want to check how much people overall. If you answer C, say yes or no. Or watching the chat, Thank you for your honesty. Some people say half. They're saying everybody, 1 to everybody, yes. You got 30 people in here. 30 people ain't say yes or no. And I need to know before we move on. No, the reason why we did not You realize, yeah, remember when I gave y'all the notes for inequalities, but we ain't even actually went through it? Somebody go back to the date when I gave y'all these notes. I think I said the last thing I wrote on the board about this was the thing that says the direction of the sign changes when you multiply or divide by a negative number. Please check it. If you see it, if you got it open, say got it. If you find it, say got it. Because what I'm going to do now is use this moment to teach that quickly. I'm going to use this moment right now to teach it so we could be done with that. So make sure your book open up to that page. Y'all got space after we had moved on to something else. That was the last thing. That was the last thing. We had move on. All right, so what we're gonna do some practice with this first. All right, so the thing is about inequalities, right? Is that, oh, we had went on to simultaneous. Okay, good. So let me just do this now quickly using some questions. Inequalities is the same thing as an equation. The only difference is the equation got equal sign. That's why you call it an equation. An inequality uses the inequality signs, and there are 4 signs. Do we remember those? One is greater than, one is less than. Let me ask a quick question. Y'all know the difference between these two? Y'all know how to use these here? Which one is the right one? A or B? Let me make sure we're on the right track. Which one is the right one? One person say B, one person say A. One to the rest of you. Hello. There we go. Choose which one. You got to tell me either A or B. Which one is the right one? A or B? Khalil, what are Ba? B-A? Ba-A? With A? What does it mean, fam? What does that mean, man? What's up with that? One to everybody else. No punk vibes, please. Run your answer, dear, please. Somebody said both. Go away with that, dear. No way. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your honesty if you don't know. Usually, think about it like Baby Shark. The part where the mouth open up bigger is the part where the bigger number supposed to be. The part where it's scrunching is the part where pointing to the smaller number. I don't know if that makes sense. That was a probably horrible way of explaining that. But it's like open mouth, big number, closed mouth, small number. Right or wrong? So if we look at the first example, A, 4 is on the side of the bigger mouth and 2 is on the side of the smaller mouth. So that means which one is the right one? This one. Everybody see, that means this one is the wrong one. So I hope everybody understands and remember that. No, think about it just like that. Bigger quantity on the bigger side where it's open, smaller quantity on the smaller side where it's closed. If you got it, say got it. Especially if you didn't got it before. We can do some more examples. Don't panic, don't panic. I got you, I got you. No, the thing is about this is that there are 2 other signs. There are 2 other signs that include the greater than and less than. Sorry, the greater than or equal to, the less than or equal to. Question, I gave you all these 4, right? In the notes. Right? Then I also indicated, so I'm going to explain the difference between the 2. Then I also explained that when you want to draw this information, one does have an open and one does be closed. Which one is the open and which one is the closed? The first one is what? Which one is the first one? That's if you have your notes, I think. Is the first option open or closed? Somebody. Nobody don't know? Hello?
Teacher, I asked.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? You lost? I didn't give I this in our notes. When I have an open circle and a shaded circle, that ain't in notes. It come like everybody Wi-Fi spazzing. So let me know this. Is this in your book? Is this information in your book? I know this was the last thing I wrote on the board. Khalil, I think that was the class y'all didn't come. I realize that. So for those who were not here, let's do it together. So in the notes, what you should have. Oh. I think that was the class a lot of people was absent. Yeah, yep. A lot of people was absent from this class. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, that's what I be saying, man. Like when you ain't come class, you gotta make sure you get them notes, man, because you're gonna be missing out and whatnot. You ain't gonna know what I'm gonna be talking about. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get it together, yeah? All right, let's go. So I can go over it from scratch. So what I'm saying is, whenever you have to draw this on a graph, there's two circles you're going to need to use. The first one, when it comes to less than or greater than, which is the normal one, you're going to use an open circle. When it's less than or greater than equal to, you're going to use a closed circle. So we're going to do a few things. Let's say I have x is greater than 3. What numbers is x equal to if x is greater than 3? Anybody? I'm telling you, x is greater than 3. So what's the first number x could be? Excellent, because the first number after x, after 3 is 4. So your answer is x could be 4, x could be 5, x could be 6, ... Do we know what ... means? ... means until infinity. You keep counting until infinity. Remember, x is greater than, so it's bigger than 3. So how would I draw this on a number line? I have my number line, you know, because it's great, it's positive numbers, which direction we move in. And if you look at it, this arrow tells you where your arrow gonna be going. So let's say I put this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you put the circle around this number, above this number. What circle is that? Above 3. Because it's the greater than, it's going to be an open circle. And then our arrow is going to go in the direction of your sign. Wouldn't that make sense? Because what number is this pointing towards? And are the numbers greater than 3? So this is how you draw this on a number line. And this means the smallest value is what? What's the smallest value? The smallest value is 4. Let's try another one. X is less than or greater than 1. What is the values of x if x is less than or equal to 1? What's the first value of x? It said smaller than or equal to. Look at the difference. Okay, so one person say 1, one person says 0. You gotta choose one. Which one? Okay, anybody else willing to try? This sign says x is less than or equal to 1. Okay, somebody said 2. I'm gonna say it again. X is less than or equal to 1. Because the equal part of it, this part tells us that x is still equal to 1. So that's going to be your first number. So it's going to be 1. Then it says less than. So what number is less than 1? 0. Keep counting. What's the next one before 0? -1, -2, ... So in this example, what do you notice? Aren't we going in the opposite direction? So let's say I put +1 here, 0, -1, -2, -3, -4. What type of circle should I draw here? What type of circle should I draw above the 1? Open or closed? What's the note here? Closed. Because you see, here we had the greater than, so it was open. Here we got the less than or equal to, so it's closed. So you draw the closed above. And what direction should my arrow point towards? Left or right? Look at where the sign pointing. What direction is that? Left or right? Everybody see that? And look, doesn't it make sense? Look at the numbers we're using and watch what direction those numbers going towards. Those numbers ain't going towards the left. So here's what I need you to do. Copy down these two examples for me. This is example A and this is example B. When you're done, say done. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, now we're going into the real thing. Just how you solve normal equations, you solve inequalities. There's only one exception. What is that one exception? If I have to multiply or divide by a negative number, it changes the direction of the sign. What is she talking about? So let me show you. If the thing ain't stick. If ain't stick. Hello? Can anybody hear me?
Yeah.
Hello there. Can you hear me up there? My thing's not moving.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
don't know if you can hear me. Somebody WhatsApp me,
Yes, Mom.
please.
I can't hear you much.
No, yeah.
I think my computer is sticked, yeah. But is it the Wi-Fi? If I'm still in the chat and I say, okay,
can't
somebody
hear you
say, yeah, we can
properly,
still
teacher.
hear you. But I don't know what happened to my screen. Hold on, let me try again. What y'all seeing as the screen? I don't know if I could hear me still, but can you hear me out there?
Beauty mark there, fam.
My peoples, I think I'm back, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're on,
Totally.
we back up. Okay, all right. But the only problem is though, I think this thing's stuck. If it's up and it's stuck and it's stuck and it's stuck. Oh, ma'am. Okay. All right. What was the last thing I said? What was the last thing I said? That we're going into some solving, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I think so. So let's go examples. So you can copy down these examples for me as we normally do. Solve the following inequalities. So everybody should be writing this information down in your books. Inequalities. I need to make up a question. So let me make up a question. So let's start off with something easy. X plus 2 is greater than. Didn't I give out some examples that we was going to work out together?
Yep.
Somebody send me a picture of them examples I gave y'all from on the board. Let's work out those questions first, and then we could add questions to that after. 5 at the end. Anybody who got a phone close by? I think Janella was messaging me. Canava sent me something. Denaya sent me something. Thank you very much. Yes, it was x plus 2 is greater than 5. And the second example was 3x is less than or equal to 6. All right. So if you guys ready, say ready, and we're going to go through. I'm watching the chat. 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 So this is a perfect way for us to just cover some stuff that we needed to finish. This would be the last thing on the algebra, the basic algebra, I should say. Okay, so let's run through it, guys. Now, if we was to solve this, we know, when I mean solve, you know, you're pretending like it's an equal sign, right? So if you had x plus 2 is equal to 5, how would you solve this? You would easily just take the plus 2 and do what? Carry it over. And when you move it over, it becomes what? The opposite, right? So you're going to end up with x greater than 5, and it's going to become minus 2. So x is greater than 3. That's it. Next one here, we got 3x is less than or equal to 6. How do I get x by itself? We remember transposing means we do the opposite. So that means I divide by 3 on both sides. So this and this is going to cancel. So that means x is less than or equal to what? 2. This is what we've been doing all along, right? You realize nothing ain't changed? Why doesn't it change? Because none of them had to either multiply or divide by a negative number. Now check this example on the other hand. Suppose we had C minus 2x is greater than 4. Everybody watching this one? Now, if I want x, what do I have to divide by? And this is something I see y'all forgetting all the time. You're not just going to divide by 2. You must divide by negative 2 because you want to get rid of negative 2. Then whatever you do to one side, you do on the other side. So I would also have to divide by what? Negative 2 over here as well. What do you notice going to happen here now? So this going to cancel this. So what we're going to end up with x. But what's going to happen to the sign? Because we divided by a negative number, the sign going to switch direction. And then we know that this is going to be what? A negative 2. Because 4 divided by 2 is 2. A positive divided by a negative is a negative. Everybody see that? Hello? So this is the perfect example that I need y'all to know, okay? So this is the only time the sign changes if you multiply or divide by a negative number to eliminate a term. All right, so guess what? That's basically it. So let's use what we know now. Oh, okay, sorry about that. So I'm just going to give you a quick minute to copy this down, and then we're going to go back to the homework questions. So please note that your homework questions is not to make you feel stressed out, is not to like overwhelm you, but we need to get you used to answering questions from now. It won't make sense we start practicing questions 2 weeks before the exams. The earlier we start, the easier it is as we get stronger and we start identifying some mistakes that we could prevent from now. This is a better chance for us to pass and pass well. Okay? All right, I don't have the second assignment ready for you guys. I'm going to send it probably Wednesday. Based on what we complete today. So anybody done? Y'all done? If you're done, say done. So I could go back to the homework question. Finish. Okay. Excellent. All right, so let's move on to the actual question that we were looking at now that most people did not know how to answer. And hopefully we are able to answer it now. So let me write it across here. So what we had was x minus, let me write it somewhere else. So x minus 3, and I hope you are writing down the work in there because this is important. 3x minus 7. And also, remember, I asked y'all to have 2 books. You know that this was supposed to be done in your homework book, right? Or your past paper book. This should not be in your notes book. Because sometimes I would ask you for that book to go through to see how you're doing and how you're getting through. And I don't want to ever take your notebook. I will never take your notebook. The only book I would take is your homework / past paper book. So if you did it in your notes book, that's okay. The second assignment, do it in your homework book.
Okay, I have my
All right, so
homework
let's
book.
go. So I think that's it, right? 3. That is true. So this would be if you have it on folder leaf, staple it into your homework book, because that's where you'd put back your homework after I give you back. All right, let's go. So it says here, solve this. So when we look at this, ladies and gentlemen, what do you notice? When you're solving, what does that mean? We want what? All of the X's on one side and all of the numbers on the other side. Do we agree? So if we look at this, we want, yes, you can have a homework folder as well. Yes, that works perfectly. So let's go. We want all the X's most likely on the left-hand side and all of the numbers on your right-hand side. So everybody see who needs to move? 2 people need to move. Okay. 3X need to move and go over here. Who else need to move? Who else not in the right place? -3, excellent. And -3, maybe I shouldn't point that on the -3. Maybe I should point this just to go over.
Over the assignment. But you
understand. -3 got to come over.
And
this is something I see in all your books.
Wait.
This is something we need to stop, because this is confusing and they're going to confuse you. When you move something over, you can't put it in front. They just reach. They're going to fall back. Think about it like that. How are you going to move 3X and put 3X in front? Everybody see what I'm saying? 3X got to come after X, because X, it meet X over there first. Because a lot of people doing that and it kind of making them do the wrong thing. So what should we have on the left-hand side? X, because X was there first. When 3X came over, 3X gonna become what? A negative. So it become 3 minus 3X. The sign ain't changing because we ain't multiply or divide by no negative number, so it stays the same. Who was left back? This is what a lot of people made a mistake. They put 7. What you do with this minus sign here, just straight away, you have to put it back. Please pay attention to that. A lot of people did that, that's why they get it wrong. So -7, who gonna come over? A -3. And when -3 comes over, it got to fall to the back and it becomes the opposite, which is +3. So let's go. X minus 3X. A lot of people got that part wrong. Everybody in the chat, let's go. X minus 3X. What is the answer? These are not the things we should be struggling with. These are the things we're supposed to be mashing up.
X minus 3X.
X minus 3X. I'm still waiting.
2X? No. X X minus 2X, mommy. I mean,
positive or negative?
That's negative.
It got to be negative, people. Pay attention to the signs.
Oh.
Because if I got, this is 1X in it.
Oh,
1X minus 3. And think about it, you're subtracting a bigger number from a smaller number. So that means you're going over on the negative side. So there's going to be negative 2X less than, what's the answer for this 2?
Oh.
Because we're still struggling with integers. -7 plus 3 is what?
Minus 3X.
No.
Negative 7 plus 3 is what?
Yeah,
okay, you're 3. Okay.
2X.
When the signs are different, we subtract. Your answer takes the sign of the bigger number. What is -7 plus 3? Hello?
-4.
You know me in here, nobody? People talking?
-4.
Nobody talk.
-4, teacher.
-4.
I ain't hearing nobody. I wonder if this thing ain't working. Maybe that's a blessing for me because me ain't hearing nothing. Haha, sorry.
-4. Hi.
Okay. Thank you, loves. -4. -4. I can't hear nobody. I can't hear nothing at all. Like Johnny, I seen somebody mic on, but I'm not hearing nobody. So keep your mic on mute, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because somebody's saying people are tired, but me ain't hearing nothing. I wonder if I should try fix it or leave it like that. Is this a blessing? I think it's a blessing, you know. But just let me know when the person talking so I can mute them.
Teacher, you can hear me?
Everybody keep your mics on mute, please. I could set it that nobody could talk at all, eh? Before I gotta start busting some bullets in here. What to do? Is it okay now? Is it okay? Can I continue? Okay, guys, let's go. So here, this is a perfect example. Everybody notice why this is a perfect example? Because what do we notice here? We have what? Negatives on both sides, no? So in this case, this is a perfect example where you would have to do a divide by a negative number on both sides. So check out this now. Watch this. This and this gonna cancel. So we're gonna get X. What gonna happen to the sign, peoples? What gonna happen to the sign? They're gonna turn from the east. Is this east? Or this west? That's west. They're gonna turn to east. They're gonna switch. So it's gonna be X is greater than, and what's gonna happen over here? A negative divided by a negative gonna give us a what? A positive. Everybody realize that? So this gonna cancel out this. And then we're gonna have 4 divided by 2 is 2. So this is the answer here. So this was a perfect example of exactly what we just talked about. And then let's see what the last part says. It says here, if X is an integer, and you know what's an integer is a positive, negative number, or 0, determine the smallest value X could have to satisfy this inequality. Remember when we was writing out the values, what is the smallest number that this could be? What's the smallest numbers? We'll write out all first. If X is greater than 2, what is the first number X could be? Everybody, let's go, because we literally just do this. Like, literally just did this. Very good. And guess what? That's your answer, because you know the answer could be 3, it could be 4, it could be 5. But you realize they asked specifically for the least or the smallest value. And if you don't know it from your head, you could literally write it out first, just like what we did here. And so you would say, therefore, smallest X value is 3. If you got it, say got it. So that means we shouldn't have any issues or challenges with inequalities. I'm looking at the chat. Talk to me. If you got it, say got it, because we literally just learn and practice questions. All right, so just like that, that's question number 2. All of that was question number 2, and we were able to handle it. So we got another question 1 and another question 2. Because we know how to do the fraction question, I'm just going to show you the answer, and you can tell me if you got the answer right for those who did it. I really want to focus more on the exchange. No, we did not do foreign exchange because that's in consumer, and I usually do consumer in the first week of December. So, but I wanted to see something, because to be honest, this is something should be easy. Changing EC to Bayesian dollars should be simple. All right, so here's what you're gonna do for me. Those persons who did this question, the answer was 2.5. I need to know if you got it right or wrong. This is a little confusing. Just focus on the answer. If you didn't get 2.5, I need you to. You got it wrong? What? Y'all want me to do it over then? Yikes, guys, we got to work on now. We gotta work on that. If people get it wrong, I'm gonna do it because that's crazy. So let me work it out with you. All right, so let's go. This one is what? Is the opposite. You have something to the top divided by something to the bottom, right? So let's work it out. So you have 3 3/4 divided by the bottom, which is 2 and 1/3 minus 5/6. First thing first, which one should get the bracket? Who should get a bracket? I'm gonna put this is A, this is B, and this is C. Who should be in the brackets together? A and B or B and C?
B and C.
It's a serious question, eh? Everybody, who should be in brackets together? A and B or B and C? Okay, very good, guys. Excellent. I just wanted to make sure that that wasn't the reason you got it wrong. So very good. So we're on the same page. So step 2 is to change all into improper fractions. So there we go. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus 3 is 15/4. Again, tired. So anytime I work out something, just back check it for me, right? 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. 7/3 minus 5/6. Do we agree? Are we looking so far? So let's work out this together. What is the LCM of 3 and 6? The LCM of 3 and 6 is 6. Hello? So times 2. So that will give me, and you realize everything you don't use, you put it back. May use it, yes, I got to put it back. So this is going to give me 14, and this is just times 1 because ain't changing, times 1 minus 5. So we're going to end up with 15/4 divided by 9/6. Is this right? Yeah, 14/6 minus 5/6. All right, what's the rule for division now? So our rule for division is switch and flip. So that's 15/4 times 6/9. Yeah? I could cancel in more than one ways because first thing first, these two are even numbers and then these two could use 3. So I can go cross because that's easier. So 2 into 4 goes 2 times. 2 into 6 goes 3 times. 3 into 15 goes 5 times. 3 into 9 goes 3 times. Oh, thank you. Oh my God. It's 16. Yeah. This is supposed to be, what are you talking about? (14/6) where? Yeah, that's what it is. 14/6 minus 5/6. This ain't right. Everybody back check this. I don't know if I'm missing something, if I made a mistake somewhere, because somebody's saying something happened. Isn't this correct? Let me back check here. Yeah, look at you. All right, so let's go. As I was saying, so cancel. So this is going to become 15/4 times 6/9. I'm going to go back over it with you. No worries, okay? That means you didn't subtract this up here properly then. You make a mistake somewhere, I don't know. Yeah. So as I was saying, so let's use black. 2 into 4 goes 2 times. 2 into 6 goes 3 times. 3 into 15 goes 5 times. The LCM of 3 and 6 is 6. What is the LCM of 6 and 3? Remember, if you do the LCM, 3, 6, 9. LCM of 6, 6, 12, 18. So the LCM is 6, okay? Don't forget. Every number is a multiple of itself and a factor of itself. So as I was saying, 3 into 9 goes 3 times. No, I should come for you for that. Or 18. All right, I could cancel again because I could cancel these 3. 3 into itself goes once, 3 into itself goes once. So what do I end up with? These numbers. 5 times 1 is 5. 2 times 1 is 2. And this is 5 over 2. How much times I could get 2 from 5 in? 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. If I minus 4, 1 over 2. Everybody see where your mistake was? This was kind of easy. Is it that it was so easy you make a mistake somewhere? If you got it, say got it. If you know you make a mistake, write down the correct thing. Let's go. Let me tell you now, we cannot afford to give away marks in questions like this. It's nothing new that will come. Make sure you practice your tables. Make sure you know the rules. Addition and subtraction is LCM. Multiplication is canceling. How do you cancel? Up and down or diagonally. Division is switch and flip. All right. Because if you break it down, you should get back the same thing, to be honest, for real. All right. How much people got this here? It says, let me read it first. Barbados means, BDS means Barbados dollars, and EC means Eastern Caribbean dollars. Karen exchanged $2,000 and received $2,000. Oh, I see what CXC did there. Usually they would tell you how much is one. You know what? Let me leave this for another time. Scratch this. I'm just going to show you the answer in case you did it, but we're going to do it another time. So the answer was you just had to divide these two numbers to find out how much the exchange rate is. So it's 1.35 EC for $1. 1 BIM dollar is 1.35. If you got that, very good. And then it says change this amount of EC to Barbados dollars. So you just have to divide by it. You get 320. So if you got it right, mark yourself as a bonus mark. And then we're going to come over this another time. So this is the last question. Let's go to the last question, which is algebra, which is very important. No. Be honest with me. How much people answered this one? Yes or no? Last question, and then we're done with class. So yes or nope. Did you answer it? Did you? Did you? Thank you for your honesty. I'm going to go through it now. All right. So remember when we spoke about this, right? The LCM, let me ask, did we do algebra fractions? Because sometimes, to be honest, I just mix up my January class with my June class. Did we do algebra fractions? I think we touched on it, you know. I think we did it. I think we did it when we were looking at, we didn't do a lot of practice. We just touched on it. We didn't touch on it at all. Should I do a little 5 minutes thing? All right, let me touch on it a little bit then. Okay, so if we did it, my apologies. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 questions side by side just to show you the difference between the two and how easy it is if you remember your algebra laws and your fraction laws. So let's do this. 1 over 3 plus 1 over 2. Let's do x over 3 plus y over 2. What is the rule when you're adding 2 fractions in the LCM? Talk to me. It's going to be the same thing for both of them. The only difference, my peoples, is that here we only got numbers, but over here, what do we have? We have both numbers and variables. So we have to keep in mind that we got to pay attention to the algebra rules, which are the same exact rules as what we learned before. So it's combining the two rules together. How do I add a third to a half? I know the LCM of 3 and 2 is what? 6. Everybody agree? Please let me know if you're locked in. Are you locked in, guys? Are you here with me? Okay. So if you look at these two, both of them got the same denominator. So the same exact rule applies. What is different here? How do I change 3 into 2? I multiply by 2. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. Same thing here. How do I change 2 to 6? I multiply by 3. Whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. And the same exact rule here. How do I change 3 into 6? I multiply by 2 to the top and to the bottom. How do I change 2 to 6? I multiply by 3 to the top to the bottom. The only difference is the man them. Is that over here, so it's numbers only, but over here, so got numbers and letters. So there we go. 1 times 2 is 2. Plus 1 times 3 is 3. Simple. But look over here now. X times 2 is what? What is X times 2? I'm just going to say if anybody say X2, we're going to fight. Everybody agree? The answer is 2X. Very good. Plus, what is Y times 3? 3Y. Now, over here, I could add 2 and 3 because 2 and 3 is 5 over 6. Can I add 2X plus 3Y? No, so guess what? That's your answer. Hello, are you with me? Which part confusing? Who's this? Who's Rizzle, eh? Let's do another example. Let's do another example. I got you, Celeste, I got you. Look at this now. Suppose I had the same thing like what we just do there. Let me see. 1 over 3 plus 2 over 6. Look at this now. 1 over 3n plus 2 over 6n. 3 and 6, what is the LCM of 3 and 6? Everybody paying attention, right? Because this is the most important part. What is the LCM of 3 and 6? We just did this. 6. Everybody agree with that? 6, right? Because I could get 3 inside a 6, innit? Now look on this side here. What is the only difference here? We add on an n. Both of them ain't got n in common. So I'm going to write back the n here because they already have that in common. Everybody see that? Tell me if you see it. One missing though. What does 3 and 6 have in common? I asked the wrong question. What is the LCM of 3 and 6? So this is the truth. When you're finding the LCM for the algebra part, you got to find the LCM for the letters, and you got to find the LCM for the numbers. So here, what would be the LCM of 3 and 6? Ain't 6. Because look at it. Can't I change 3n to 6n? How do I change 3n to 6n? Ain't by just multiplying by 2. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top, right? Do I need to change 6n here? No, you multiply it by 1. So what's the answer? 1 times 2 is 2, plus 2 times 1 is 2. So what would be my answer here? Can't I add 2 and 2? So your answer would be 4 over 6n. Here, we know how to add this already. That's easy. Times 2 times 2 times 1 times 1. So that would be 2 plus 2, which is 4 over 6. So let me ask this question. Anybody seeing the pattern? Can I do one more? Let's do one more just to make sure we're on the same page. 3 over m plus 2 over n. What is the LCM of m and n? Let me see who's thinking. Look at this. When we wanted to find the LCM of two different numbers, we didn't have to multiply them together. So 3 times 2 is 6. So it's the same exact thing with letters. Though these two don't have nothing in common. Agree or disagree? So if I want to find a common multiple, what do I have to do with both of them? And just multiply them. So the common multiple of m and n would just be mn. Think about it just like this. What's the LCM of 3 and 2? They ain't got nothing in common, so it must be what? 3 times 2? Yep. Hello, do we understand that part? Please let me know if you got it. So from here, this is what you're going to do. How do I change m into mn? What does m need to turn into mn? A times the n. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. Look at over here. What does n need to become mn? It doesn't need an m. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. So what we're going to end up with, 3n plus 2m. Can I add these two things? No, I cannot. So that's your answer. Yeah, copy down these examples. So can we try the question now, the exam question together? So let's try it together now. Let's go. We could do this. So I'm just going to rewrite it to the side and then we're going to work it out. So we have 2m over n minus 5m over 3n. Somebody, what's the LCM of n and 3n? Let's see who really thinking. What is the LCM of n and 3n? Agreed? Oh, sorry, Shine. I'm going to move over. I'm going to move over when I finish this one. Excellent job, guys. Oh, my God. 3n. Very good. I hope those who are not saying anything following, 3n. So let's go. What do I multiply to n to get 3n? Y'all gonna walk me through this one. So it's going to be times what? Excellent. Wherever do you to the bottom, you do to the top. So you know you're going to have to put 3 times 2m here minus. Do I need to multiply anything to 3n to change it? No. Times 1 times 1. So minus 5m. Everybody agree so far? So we're going to put equal. What is 3 times 2m? 3 times 2m is 6m minus 5m over 3n. And 6 minus 5 is just 1m. But do I put 1m? Or I just gonna write what? Just m by itself over 3n. That's the answer. That's it. If you think about it, it isn't really that hard, to be honest. You just got to remember your rules and you should be good. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next one. Are we okay? We almost done. We just got these last questions and we're done. A lot of people did not answer D. And let me tell you I know. Let me tell you I know. You see, D, this paper was June 2011. No, paper 2 doesn't come so easy anymore. You see this part here, you see this question? That's how all the questions then come in. A lot of reading, a lot of using the words, and then you got to write the expression. So this one is very, very, very important. Okay, and I'm going to take my time with this one. So let's look at B. B is called binary operations. Do we agree? That's the same thing what we did before. So I'm going to write out my instructions. They say A star B is equal to A square minus B. So my question to you is, who is A? So they say find 5 star 2. Who is A? Excellent. Who is B? Very good. So all we need to do is substitute into the equation. So they said A square. Who is the A again? 5. So that's 5 square minus B. Who is B? 2. This one was super easy, and 5 squared is 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25 minus 2. So your answer is 23. Simple, straight to the point. All right. What type of factorization is that? How much terms we got here? What kind of factorization is that? Love to see it. Do we agree? How much terms there are? 4. So that means it is grouping. So far, it looked easy because what do we notice? That the signs actually do match so far. So we ain't got stress ourselves about the signs. So talk to me. What is common between 3x and 6y? What do I pull out? Excellent. 3. When I pull out 3, what's going to be left back? X minus what? Excellent job, guys. That's what we're talking about. Very good. Next one. What is in common between these two here? Very good. We pull out the X. What's going to be left back now? X minus 2y. How we know we're going good? How we know we're going good? Our brackets do what? Our brackets match. So what is the final answer? X minus 2y and then 3 plus x. Yep. Cooking on gas. We're cooking on gas. Now let's go to the big dogs and we are done with class tonight. Okay, so my first question is, this was what? How much marks in all? This was 4. That's 6 marks out of 12. Look at this. This alone is 6 marks. Look how much people is panic. All right, so let's go. We got this. We got this. Almost there. So my first question to you is, how many people actually tried this question? Whether you think you did it right or wrong, yes, no, maybe so. So let me know. Yes, did you halfway? Okay, commend that. I commend effort. I commend trying. Because these type of questions, you're gonna have one class before we go on break where we just do only worded problems. So it's important for me to see who try and how far you got through. So let's read through the question. A drinking straw of length 21 centimeters is cut into 3 pieces. So that means that the total length of the string, the straw is 21, and you got 3 pieces. We understand that. The length of the first piece is X. What is important about this is making sure you write out what you read. So you know the first piece of string is X. So I'm going to put string 1, string 2, string 3. So string 1 is just X. We all agree. We don't know what X is. How you get 7? How you just jump to 7? Where you get 7 from? We're going to get there. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. I'm not disagreeing with you. But you got to be careful because you don't know. You can't assume. It did not say a third X is equally distributed. Did it say it's equally distributed? Did it say each piece is equal? You can't divide if it did not say it's equal. Right or wrong? So we got to be careful because that's what most people do. They assume just divide by 3 and that's X. That's not true. Let's read the second part. The second piece is 3 centimeters shorter. Now, if you shorter, what does that mean? Will I add 3 or subtract 3? That's a very important question, everybody. If you are 3 centimeters shorter, what does that tell you to do? Add or subtract? What are you going to subtract from? In the original piece, they say the first piece in it. So that means the second piece going to be the original piece minus 3. Let me know if you're with me so far. If you're with me, so with me. With Joe. Tell me if you're with me. Let's go. If you're with me, so with Joe. Let's go. I can't move on if you're not. So whenever you're reading these questions, they always related to the original piece. So that's what you're working with. Let's read the next part now. So we got this, we got it. And always tick off what you got, because that way it keeps you clear on what you're doing and where you're going. Let's work on the third piece now. The third piece is twice as long as the first piece. What does twice mean? In 2 times. So you tell me, what is the equation for the third piece? Run it in the chat. Okay, even without me asking. Everybody agrees? People saying it's 2x. Is that true? Hello, is that true? Is 2x the length of the third piece? Very good. So just like that, you realize even, you know, may even read the first part and they don't do that. That's how I just think, to be honest with you. I hope y'all understand what I'm showing you. Even before we read the first question, what did we do? We went and we read the information and we translated one time. Then if you look at the first question, look at what the first question asks for. State in terms of x the length of each piece. That ain't what we do already. So string 1 is x, string 2 is x minus 3, string 3. I keep saying string and it's straw. Jesus Christ. Straw 3 is 2x. So we done answer the first one. We get full 2 marks. Everybody good with that? Good. No, look at this now. It says, write an expression in terms of x to represent the sum. Lord of mercy, guys, what sum mean there, please? Tell me. What does the sum mean? Sum says to do what? Add. We ain't know what all them must add up to as well, even without them telling us that. What should we know? They tell us the total length of the straw. So what do you think you should do? What do you think the equation should look like? And straw 1 plus straw 2 plus straw 3 equal what? 21. Look at it. There we go. So that's going to be what? X plus x minus 3 plus 2x equal 21 centimeters. No, based on your knowledge, they say calculate x. What does that mean? What word we got to use if they say must calculate what 1x mean? When they ask you for the value of one letter, what do we supposed to do? It start with an S. What word is that? And I just say it like 40, 100 times in a class. What is the S word? When they ask you to find the value of a letter, solve. Right or wrong? So you know that means to do what? You ain't supposed to transpose and add what you can add. So let me run it now. We got x plus x minus 3 plus 2x equal 21. Who over here on the wrong side? Who need to move? Who on the wrong side? Excellent. Minus 3 is on the wrong side. We got to get our whole over to the other side because she ain't belong where she be. When minus 3 move, it's going to become the opposite. So what we're going to end up with? We're going to end up with x plus 2x is equal to 21 plus 3. So how much x is on the left-hand side? Anybody? How much x we got in all? No, I answering the question. How many x's? Be careful. Thank you. Specific. Very good. 4x. Thank you. Is equal to 24. We know how to take it from here, innit? What do we do next? Nobody can tell me that the answer right here. Anybody realize that? Did anybody realize the answer right here? That's wild. So you divide by 4 on both sides, cancel. So x is equal to 6, and that's it. Now that we did that whole entire question, is it that hard? You could tell me the truth. Do you think it was that hard? Okay, it was hard for you. Okay. Some people say no. Okay, good. A little in between, somewhat. Let me ask this question. Which part was the hardest part for you? Was it A? And I need to know now so I could know which ones I need to get for us to practice more of. Was A the hardest part? Yes or no? Or was it no, I mean for this question here, the worded problem. I want to know which part was the hardest part. Getting the equations for each part or understanding what to do with them. Like, was it a little bit challenging realizing that you were supposed to add them up and put them equal to 21? Because the truth is that's the part where most people don't put the connections. So like they didn't realize, okay, I need to use the 21 up here and put them together. So it's the understanding what to use and the reading. Okay, I got you. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put some worded questions together and that's how we're gonna practice. Because I figured that's the part that students to struggle with. And so it's these two parts here is what we're gonna have to do a lot of so that you get accustomed to it. Okay. All right, guys. So that's it for class today. So before you go, you're gonna tell me out of 10 how you felt about what we did in terms of if you understood everything we went through, if you thought class was productive, if you think you learned, you understood.
Yeah, teacher. 9.5.
Okay.
Miss V, I love you.
I just want to say thank you guys for doing the assignment. I'm going to take like 10-15 minutes to go back over.
What? Teacher, I'm hungry.
Yeah, and do you see? Okay, let me ask you, was it helpful that you did the assignment first so that you realize what you don't know? That's an important question. You realize doing it first is important so that when we come class, you could really, really see what you don't know. Okay, great. Thank you. So I hope that this encourages people to try at least so that at least you come class knowing what you ain't know and what you ain't understand. Correct. So I'm gonna send you guys, should I send you the next assignment tonight or should I send you on Wednesday? What do you think?
No.
It would be due next week, Wednesday, but it would give you more time. Somebody said next month.
Not tonight.
I'm gonna send it tonight. I'm gonna do it up and then start putting it together.
So Miss V,
Because on Wednesday we start in a brand new topic. We're going into functions and we're gonna bang out a lot on Wednesday.
Miss V.
Yeah, so I'm gonna send it tonight and then you guys work it out for next week, Wednesday. All right, guys, so that's it for tonight. Thank you so much for coming to class. See you guys on Wednesday. Bye.